This is stupid. This is so dumb. But worst case scenario, if I don't like it, I can just keep it unlisted. And do I really not have stream recording? OBS is showing it just fine. Ah, here we go. Pardon me while I ruin all audio quality just to make sure things aren't a little too loud. So... yeah, I can make it a little... maybe it can be a little bit louder. I don't know why. I think it might be the cable I'm using. Maybe it can be a little bit louder. I don't know. It was a last minute decision to have music playing in the background because I just noticed that for some reason it's not picking up the 3DS capture audio. It's probably the cable I'm using. But I did not hear a 3DS. And if I do finally get this blue Corsola, it'd be a little awkward for there not to be any sort of music. So let me pause everything real quick and listen for sound quality yet again. If I finally get this blue Corsola, it'd be a little awkward for there not to be any sort of music. So let me pause it. Yeah, that still seemed loud though. Definitely loud in my ear. I don't know. It feels like this should be good. Maybe I can like get one more Corsola out here while I'm waiting for things to sync up. Alright, and pause and listen. Okay, that's good. Okay, and there's Corsola 22. I can't believe I'm doing this. I got better things to do with my time. But you know what? If I'm going through the trouble of getting this stupid blue Corsola, I might as well. And apparently, you know what? Yeah, and I might as well make it public too. I was a little iffy, but screw it. We're live with this. We're live with this stuff. I don't think I'm gonna go for the trouble of making a social post about it or anything. Oh. But sure. For the record, this makes Corsola number 7. I did like 6 of them while I was finishing up on treadmilling. But yeah, I think today's the day. Today is the day we get this stupid blue Corsola. I'll have to look up exactly how many times I phased trying to chain fish for it in Omega Ruby. Too many to count, but I know it's been at least 12. Probably at least 14, because I feel pretty confident saying I have at least 12 golden Corsola. 12 golden love discs, just trying to chain fish for this thing. So let me just set up the stream so it's not streaming to Legends Arceus. I mean, if I really wanted to be smart, I would do what all the other cool Pokemon YouTubers do and make it Scarlet and Violet. But I don't know, even though you're allowed to do that, that doesn't really ever feel accurate to me because I'm not playing Pokemon Scarlet. I'm basically playing any other game besides Pokemon Scarlet. And it's a little silly that The one time I'll get into that a little later. Let me focus on... This is enough multitasking as is. Gonna get this blue Corsola. Problem was, I haven't really been keeping the closest count. I think we're at like 7 though. Alright. Everything's set. I still have to hit the button to make it go live on Twitch. But that's a button I can hit very easily. And if I'm streaming on YouTube, I might as well do it on Twitch. No guarantees that I'm going to be talking too much though. This is mostly just me doing the grinding out for something that I've been meaning to do, been trying to do for way too long. So hey, it's live in all the places. The only thing I know is that in this little tiny bit of chaining that I've done, like 2 or... Like I said, it was up to 6, it might be more closer to 10. But point being, I've ran into at least 2 Marinis in the short time frame that I started chaining. So hopefully we don't run into any more for a while. I mean, I won't complain about a shiny Marini, because it would be hilarious, and it'll probably be a cool shiny. It's like, couldn't find it in Go, so wouldn't mind getting it here, but Blue Corsola is what I've been looking for. It's what I've been looking for ever since I decided to try out chain fishing in Sun and Moon, but with it being a 5% chance, it wasn't worth it was worth exploring other options, even with how ridiculously good chain fishing is. But yeah, whole deal is, today's the day. This quest for Blue Corsola has been going on for way longer than it needs to. Months, if not years. I'm sure if you scroll far enough back on Blue Sky, you'll be able to see it eventually. And I can even get it up for like the VOD sometime down the road, assuming we get something. Oh, speaking of Marini, look, guess who's got to go now? For some reason, I just have a little tiny fear that Marini's gonna somehow ruin the chain. So I'm not gonna waste any hesitation to knock it out whenever I see it. Okay, my count is... I don't even know if it's worth trying to count a chain at this point, because I have not been keeping good count at all. I did say how many I was at approximately when getting started with this all. You know, it's a lower level, because I know from past experience with chaining wishy-washy that it can struggle to death. I'm gonna swap over to this other Corsola while I'm thinking of it. Yeah, man. Undertale, Deltarune music, it's a bop. It never misses. I would say Toby Fox's music in general never misses, but ironically enough, there are some things in Scarlet and Violet, some of his tracks that, I kind of wonder how much I actually don't like those particular songs, how much I just got tired of them because they're used so frequently in the game. But I can't rely on that too much because I never feel the way I do about any song in Undertale or Deltarune, like I do with the main theme for Scarlet and Violet. I don't know if it'd be too much spoilers to say it with how old the game is, but some of the late game themes they did, those slap. Those are awesome. But I just never got into the main theme or the raid theme. There's a slight chance that it could just be the context of what I'm doing in those games at the time, but I'm looking forward for there to be a new Pokemon game in general, just so, if only... I've warmed up to Scarlet over the time I've had it, but I am looking forward for there being a new game, just so it's not the latest and greatest. And how do I phrase it without coming off too condescending? It's more so like, I can't wait for Legends to be the hip new thing in Pokemon, because I enjoy Legends Arceus so much. It'd be a lot easier for me to make videos on that, and because it feels like a lot of Pokemon fans only care about the latest and greatest Pokemon game. It'll be a better compromise between what I want to do and what the general audiences want to do. I say that, but now I'm streaming. How old is Sun and Moon? I feel like if I look it up, I'll only hurt myself. So let's just say an old Pokemon game. Yeah, there is zero effort being done in keeping track of this chain. Let's just say it's 14 and call it a day. Alright, I think I don't know why I didn't get started sooner, but I think I've done everything that I need to. So, of course you have Recover. Once I actually have the game console in my hand and not just off to the side, this will go by significantly faster, I hope. Oh my god. This can't be a rare thing, because these freaking Marinis are appearing almost as frequently as the Corsolas themselves. You know, like this chain's at 15 to be generous, and that's like the third or fourth Marini that I've seen so far in the hunt. Maybe we will accidentally get a shiny Marini in the process of this Corsola. It would fit the legacy. I've gotten Loftus, I've gotten Whalmers, I've even gotten a Wishy-Washy in the process of trying to get a blue Corsola. And it's such an innocent Avenger, like, I forget the details, but I got interested in trying out chain fishing, you know, but the only game that I had the fishing rod in that was relevant was Omega Ruby. So I figured, what in Omega Ruby can I get by fishing that I would actually want? And I settled on Corsola because, like, the odds of chain fishing are so high, what could possibly go wrong? How did I underestimate what a 5% chance fishing counter rate could do? Yeah. You know, in the process of checking these Corsolas out, maybe I will pull up Pokemon Home so I can get a definitive number of how many times I phase, as the people say, in the process of getting this Corsola. And it depends on how generous we want to be with the term phasing, because I could go exclusively off Corsola hunts. I could include the 2 shinies that I got in the process of taking a break, just so I could see something besides love this. But even if I get incredibly sidetracked along the way, I can promise you that we will share a definitive answer of how many times I phased in the process of this. Okay, is that really it? Did I only transfer over 3? Got Teddy, the Whale Lord. Oh no, there's 2 more left this down here. So, is that the last of them? It does seem like it. So, in Pokemon Home, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shinies from chain fishing that were transferred over to Home. And I'll be back in 1 sec. I'm just gonna pull up my 3DS so I can check Omega Ruby on all the shinies that I have yet to transfer over. I can't believe I'm doing this. Where is... There's the 3DS. Five shinies in Home. Yeah, I really gotta get another Corsola soon, just to assure it doesn't knock. Because I don't have the fancy Lepa Berry trick stuff. Last thing I want to have happen is for the struggle itself to death. That actually did happen once in the Wishy-Washy hunt I did. We do not need to have that happen with Blue Corsola. Oh. A little worried about how loud it was. I think it's just my earbuds, though. Anyways. Alright. Now, before I forget, let's swap on over to this Corsola. Because I'm not counting, I don't know the exact move pool of Corsola. Not counting the power points. So we can never be too careful in assuring that we don't accidentally let it struggle itself to its demise. And while we're doing that, I can pull up my PC Omega Ruby and tell you exactly how many phases I've had trying to chain fish for this thing. I would have done this sooner, but I was having the worst of luck. The worst of luck actually finding this. Like, this is the first time I've ever actually seen... ever is a bit of exaggeration, but ever since I started the Corsola hunt, I've tried to find Corsola in Sun just so I could do this. And it would never pop up. That's why I eventually ended up settling for a wishy-washy chain and ended up getting a shiny wishy-washy. It took that long to find a freaking Corsola that I gave up. Turns out though, I was fishing in an area where it was a 1% encounter rate, and I only just now realized that there's a different location where it's a 5% encounter rate. You wouldn't guess that though, because the moment I decided to fish here instead of the original spot, first encounter, Corsola. That all happened today. This is all happening so fast. Anyways. I feel like the only way we're gonna know for sure what my count is if I go through the stream bot and count out each Corsola I knock out manually. Speaking of count though, let's see. So altogether, with my phases and chain fishing trying to find this thing, it's the 5 that are already in home, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Corsolas, 12, 13, 14, I love this, I mean, 15, 16, plus the wishy-washy, 17 phases, if I'm being strict. Phases I've had trying to find Corsola. If I want to include the 2 chain fishing I did in between as a break, Susie the Carvana and Sunfish the Remoraid, that bumps it up to 19 phases. And now that Wrecker's out here, maybe I can actually start counting the Corsolas that we're running into, so we have a semi-decent count of how long it takes to actually get it. And you know what? I feel like at the very least, even though I don't think anyone would actually see it on Blue Sky, I feel like I should at least post it there. So we can... Because I've been posting the whole legacy of my chain fishing treadmill adventures. And I feel like it's only fitting for people to see the finale. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee that this is the finale. It depends on how well RNG treats us. Because I don't plan on doing this for much more than an hour or 2. I typically don't stream in the middle of the work weeks, but it is what it is. Fishing adventure over on stream. Let the Corsola. It's on screen, Jackie Kate. Spell Corsola correctly. It's literally on screen, the screen that you're ignoring, to make the tweet onto the socials. There we go. Let the Corsola shine blue. Fine. I literally only keep my Twitter to promote my stuff. I might as well promote the live stream, even though no one's gonna have context for it. Sure, Mach Punch is getting a little low on power points. Who gave you permission to start recovering? Certainly not me. So... I've been shiny hunting Corsola on... I don't know how I even want a word to tweet on social. All this is doing is distracting me from actually keeping count of how many of these little fellas that I've been knocking out. So, I finally found a Corsola in Pokemon Sun. So instead of chain fishing and constantly getting gold love disc, I decided to finally end the era by SOS Chaining for it instead. Oh, man, even when I finally find the Corsola, this hunt for it is gonna be a pain. I thought I finally had a break being able to SOS chain it, but no! Game constantly trying to convince me to just keep chain fishing and go for that 5% chance. Sure, you'll probably just phase and get a love disc, maybe a Whalmer if you're lucky instead. But no, it's better than putting up with this. Will my Corsola turn blue? Let's find out. You know, I didn't even think about it until now, but there's probably like bots that could help me keep count. Nah, too late now. There's no way that my count is anywhere close to accurate. And I was just thinking maybe I should swap over to the other Corsola, but not when it's level 23. Can we get another level 10 Corsola? That would be nice. And you know what? I don't know. It's not like I got anything better to do while I'm waiting for Corsolas to pop up. Let's share it on Discord as well. Kinda ironic that I'm saving that for last, but... And it's really wise for me to be using the Twitch, my YouTube link instead of the Twitch link. I don't know. It's there. It's too late now. Let's see. 16. I mean, that is at least lower than what I was using before. Sure. Maybe it'll be low enough level that we don't have to worry about recover. But the important thing is that I'm done making posts on social, so I can focus on the game, which hopefully means we get to the Corsola sooner. See about you. as well bump that up to 13 while I'm thinking of it. $30 is the magic number. Once we get up to 30, then the hunt really begins. There's a little bit of a shame because it feels like we're in for quite the adventure already. I guess it's semi-fitting though. Wait, are we even live on Twitch? Okay, I only saw the black screen on the Twitch preview, and I got a little worried. Oh wow, how are we already at half an hour? I guess it's debatable on whether or not you consider it half an hour. And what's it with Undertale music / Deltarune music that goes so hard, especially in their boss themes? Maybe should I tell the story of why I decided on Deltarune music? Maybe I'll hold on to it, because if I can wait for us to actually get to Corsola, that would be a cool surprise, but I got nothing better to talk about. So, I guess there's other things I've tried to do to get the Corsola besides Chain Fish. This balloon I have on screen, I was actually lucky enough to get through the Dexnav chaining. So there was a couple of times that I tried that with Corsola instead. It was right in the same area and all that, but man, trying to Dexnav hunt in the water is such a pain in the butt. I did learn something from the few times I've attempted it though. Apparently Corsolas, at least in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, have a rare chance to drop Luminous Moss, I believe it's called. It's moss. And with my various other fishing, I came up with a... No. I came up with something for each of the Pokemon. I have... Let me just say it. I have a Carvana named Susie, be an awesome purple Sharpedo, if and when I get around to evolving it. I believe I named one of the many Lovesticks that I caught for chain fishing Rousey. And I caught those two because with all the time I was finding Corsolas through the Dexnav attempts, I figured it was... You know what? Corsola is blue, one is shiny. They hold on to moss. What else is blue and likes moss? I'll just leave it at that. Anyone who's played Deltarune enough, it's probably obvious, but for everyone else, we'll leave the name as a surprise, assuming we ever actually get to that point. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's gotta be the recovers, but something about this is much more vigorous than all the SOS Chaining I did for Wishy-Washy. It's a cool shiny. Right, thinking about it, it's on this file. If, and this is a big if we get shiny Corsola tonight, and it's not too late, I'll go pull out that shiny Wishy-Washy out from the PC. I haven't even leveled it up yet, so it probably doesn't even have enough HP for its full form, so I've only seen the little minnow as a shiny form. And that definitely sounds like a fun idea. I can't believe I'm actually using a level berry on false swipe. And that's like something I did not run into with the wishy-washy. Jeez, has it already been that long since the last Corsola, or did I lose count again? Someday we'll get to number 30 and be able to start the chain. This is like the one gripe I have with chain fishing. Like, it is a bit of a process, though. Like, it's kind of hard to fit into a 30-minute treadmill walking session. With chain fishing, I've at least failed or succeeded at a chain by half an hour, so it makes it a little easier to do those walks in 30-minute segments. Chain fishing, it'd take me a whole 30 minutes just to find a Corsola. In fact, that's exactly what happened today. Like, I decided to like pull up both my DS's and do chain fishing in Omega Ruby while I was fishing to try to find one Corsola to start this SOS hunt. And yeah, pretty much spent the whole 20 minutes at a treadmill walk fishing at the 1% spot and not found a single Corsola. And this is not even the first time I've attempted to find the Corsola. See the previous two times I attempted to chain wishy-washy. They started as Corsola hunts, but I couldn't even find the first Corsola, so I gave up and did wishy-washy instead. And I had no regrets though, because wishy-washy is probably one of my favorite Pokemon from this generation. So I'm happy to have a shiny wishy-washy. No, I've already lost count. I'm gonna just say that I found 4 since I've last updated the counter. Make that 5. Oh, in that case, not only will it finally be time to do the quote-unquote real hunt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, the tracker I have seems to be implying that it's 40 that our chain really begins, not 30. And maybe it's just me, but it feels like the internet's become less and less reliable of a source for shiny hunting over the times. Because I remember, like, back in the days, I would rely on it a lot. And now these days, like, there's so much mixed information on the internet that I sometimes run into issues of who I should even trust. Yeah, this is a good one. Oh, speaking of good one, this is probably as good time as any to swap on over to that other Corsola. Goodbye, female Corsola. Did I ever mention why I actually decided to why I leaned on Corsola as my shiny choice for chain fishing? I started, I don't think I actually properly finished the story. Long story short, I was trying to find Pokemon that I would want a shiny of, which would, part of that definition, include Pokemon they didn't already have a ton of in Pokemon Go, and I figured Corsola was a good candidate because it's a regional, so it's a regional in a region that I don't have access to, at least regularly. So my odds of ever actually running into a shiny Corsola in Pokemon Go are slim to none, so it seemed the most apparent way to avoid to actually get a shiny from chain fishing that was completely brand new and exciting. I overlooked the fact that Corsola is only a 5% chance in chain fishing, and apparently 1% if you're doing things the wrong way. We can probably skip the vocals. But darn, we're already near the end of the Deltarune Chapter 1 soundtrack. Before I... Oh, and... I can't just back arrow once and pull up the whole thing. What about if I just search Deltarune again? Deltarune chapter OTS. Hopefully that just pulls up chapter 1 and 2 immediately in the search results. I was not... The problem was that I was trying to support the creator and do it directly from Toby Fox. But Toby Fox upload of the Undertale Deltarune soundtrack, ironically enough, is not the first thing you find when searching Deltarune. You end up like finding other people's free uploads. It's a little disappointing. But I think I found something. Let's get chapter 2 in here. Corsola, my friend, why are you trying to protect the Marini? It only wants your doom and demise. Meanwhile, I'm the one keeping you alive long enough for you to call for friends. There we go. It might drain my phone battery, but it'll probably be easier to actually keep track of everything if I just keep it all up and just manually update it every time. At least we're only like 4 away from chaining, and I'm probably being generous. I probably missed 1 or 2 in my count, so we're probably way closer to 40. If you could just keep calling your friend and not recover, that would be fantastic. And at least I have plenty of Lempa berries to go around. This is my old save of Pokemon Sun, so it just so happened that everything worked out, and it's like, I just so happened to have this balloon because I was going to transfer it up to Sword and Shield, or I mean to Pokemon Home, but I was trying to get a few ribbons for it along the way. I accidentally and actually I probably could have gotten a couple more ribbons for it in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire before transferring it up. But I have the new Pokemon Homes mindset in my head, so I forgot just because it's in Pokemon Bank. Once you put it into a Sun and Moon game, it can't go back into an X or Y game. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. I did do... Oh my god, I should be a little more careful what move I decided to go for. Something tells me we're not going to get this done tonight, which is unfortunate, because if I don't do it now, well, for one, that means I have to leave the 3DS on overnight, which I guess isn't terrible, because I can plug it in, hide it in the closet somewhere where the light won't bother me, and just pick it up after work tomorrow and have the perfect thing to do on the treadmill. But it feels so long since I've gotten a genuine... it's not that long. I did find a shiny in the last game and chill, and that was kind of fun time. But I do feel kind of bad with all the DS hunting that I've done, and I haven't really streamed much of any of it, so I haven't really had captured too many of those moments where I actually find one. I was gonna say, this feels a little too early to have like the home theme, but no, this is the Castletown theme. So yeah, if you'd be so kind and spend more time calling for your friend rather than recovering, that would be very well appreciated. And you know, I did not realize how annoying the Corsola hunt would be until I started. Like, I thought my troubles would be relatively over once I actually found the stinking thing. But no, it apparently has some other tricks up its sleeves. You know what, just call for your friend so I can knock you out and get the other one. No, no. You're gonna make this difficult. Please just call for the other Corsola. The fact that you're spending more time recovering than anything else is probably a sign that I should change anyways. So just let me get you your red HP so you can call your friend. Nope, you have some bubble power points left in you after all. You know what, since we got nothing better to do, let me look up the level up move pool for Corsola in Pokemon Sun and just see if there's any sort of way that I can avoid running into ones that have Recover. Because this is just getting ridiculous. And first thing I see is a shiny on the page. It's just taunt me. Oh hey, a new Corsola. Ain't blue, but do I really want to sell for level 23? It's so hard. I'll take the risk. It's so hard to whittle them down when they're at level 12. I don't see how 23 would be any better. And it's got so much HP that if it's gonna start struggling, at least I have some options. Ah, here we go. Maybe I should go for level 23, because it apparently learns Recover at level 20, as early as level 8. Oh, it only has 10 power points. Maybe I should be more concerned that it's not recovering anymore. So yeah, like 1, 2, 3. Maybe I do need a level 23 Corsola just to ensure it doesn't have Recover. Let's try a level 21 and see how it goes. We're so close to the 40. This is the most funny part about doing these sort of chain hunts. Fishing, SOS, doesn't matter. When you battle so many Pokemon that you end up getting level ups just from the mere tiny chip damage that they do. Alright, so this might be a little bit more of a pain to knock out, but if what I'm reading up is correct, it should not have access to Recover anymore, which will make the process a bit less annoying in the long run. Let's see if my intuition is on to anything. Like, because I got nothing else on mind. Anyone else checked out that stuff with Shadow the Hedgehog that's come out lately? Like, Sonic X Shadow? Because I saw a few videos of it on my feed, so I was doing what I usually do at work and make the work less monotonous by listening to some YouTube videos as a podcast to make the time go by faster. I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping to see the number on my app pop up a bit more when I hit that 40 button, and that does not seem to be the case. Yeah, we just have to grind it out, which probably means this, if I don't get anything by 10 o'clock, this might be something that I just do on the treadmill, or if I get completely unlucky, I guess I wouldn't mind doing this again. Let's see. The thing with these DS hunts that I usually use to justify them is that they're typically stuff that I do in the background while I'm doing other things. Treadmill being the most common example, so doing a stream of this doesn't feel as productive to me yet as just like having this on in the background while I'm editing a video or something. I mean, I guess it's been a little bit since I've done a stream. I didn't stream last weekend, so I guess if nothing else, this kind of makes up for it. Still, not sure if it means I'll do it again. I think I've reached the outer limits. I'm at a point where I'm willing to just rest my voice and enjoy the vibes, the music we're listening to, and see how it goes. Let's be honest with ourselves. The only reason this stream exists is for the reaction at the end. And that's a big if we're even going to get to that tonight. This process is going a little... It's taking a bit longer than I thought to get up to odds. But then again, I did kind of forget that the session where I actually got the wishy-washy was actually a second SOS chain, and this is the first time I'm doing an SOS chain, so... I had a lot more checks under my belts than I gave myself credit for. I guess it doesn't help that Marini's just being... that all those recovering Corsolas made this hunt way more and take way longer than it had any right to. And maybe it's just my imagination, but these Corsolas are actually doing a decent amount of damage to me compared to the wishy-washies that felt like they did diddly squat. For a second there, I thought I knocked out the wrong Corsola. Yeah, I started talking about Shadow. So I've been listening / seeing the footage from the latest Sonic Generation remake stuff, and the Shadow portions are looking really promising. Like, the level design looks really good. To the point of, I don't feel like I've been excited for a Sonic game since, at least Colors. Like, I did eventually get Lost World. Maybe since the original generation itself, because that did come after Colors. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been excited for a Sonic game. And the stuff that they're showing with the Shadow game, actually getting me excited for it. I don't know if I'm actually going to buy it though, because I'm still working my way through Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door. So between that and all the videos and game design related projects I've been working on the side, I don't know if I'll be ready for a new game by the time the Shadow one comes out. But they sure are getting me interested in it. Now, I gotta be careful. I've been paying so little attention to risks here. I think they might be on the verge of... It's about time to heal them up. Maybe I should have gotten some more potions. I'm sure I can find something to get us by though. Like, how many Moo Moo Milks I have? 3. And it's slightly better than wasting a Hyper Potion. I'm sure it'll be fine. Surely I got something scrounged up in my inventory to keep us going. Yeah. I severely underestimated how long this hunt would take us. Probably not gonna get it on stream after all, unless we get incredibly lucky. Which is rather unfortunate, but eh. I should have known that I would say game, but it's between multiple games, but some Shiny Force knows the ordeal this Corsola hunt has been. So I'm sure that whatever that force is, it's going to do everything in their power to make sure I go through every hoop and hurdle before I get one that turns blue. And with that assurance, kind of makes me go, maybe I shouldn't stream until I get the blue Corsola. Maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe it was not meant to be. Maybe it was meant to be something that happened on the treadmill as it started. How long have we been going though? An hour. Yeah, I got no excuse not to go until 10 o'clock. It's already going to be shorter than my average stream, even though I'm not really a long stream to begin with. Maybe like 2 more. Then I'm going to take a quick break to refill my water. Go from there. And this is what I mean. Toby Fox does not miss unless he's involved with a Pokemon game. Then for some reason it doesn't hit as hard. That's fine. If I liked every single song that a single composer made, I might actually be worried. Because at that point, do I actually like the music, or do I just have an incredible bias towards the creator? Okay, so that's 2 more and there's been nothing there. So, I hate to do this, but filling up my water is not the only thing I need to do right now, so Yeah. Chain of 50, it feels like that I should have more than 50 checks against the Corsola at this point. But we'll come back to this at least at 10 o'clock. BRB. Oh, don't tell me. I thought because I had my 3DS open that everything would be fine, but apparently locking the computer is an issue too. Eh, I don't think it'll be the end of the world. I think if I just close out this capture software and open it back up. Yep, everything is back. Like nothing happened. Just gotta wait for stream to catch back up. There we go. Unfortunately, no music, but that's what we got this for. Not all this time, and I completely forgot that I never finished my Mountain Dew. So, kind of unfortunate to finish up my Mountain Dew at 9 in the evening when I'm gonna go to bed in less than 2 hours, but it's better than wasting half a cup of Mountain Dew. And all this time I haven't been paying attention. Is it the Marini that's doing wide guard? You telling me a Marini wants to protect a Corsola more than it wants to knock it out and do godforsaken? You know, I was gonna say godforsaken things, but that kind of makes it sound even worse somehow. Slightly too early for Christmas in July, but them's the breaks. Yeah. How is full... I know I don't got a Shining Charm, but how is full odds after 50 encounters? Only a 16%. The more I watch this hunt go by, the more I become convinced that it's not gonna happen this stream. I dedicated a little bit of time that I could be using towards more constructive things to do this, but not that much time. Oh, are we about to get into the... I think we're still a few songs away from Queen hype, but I will. This is what we call foreshadowing, kids. Not in game, that would be too lucky. Oh, when did I get 999 citrus berries? Screw the potions, why not just use this? It might heal as much as a super potion. You know, it's been so long, I don't remember the last time I swapped Corsolas. But the fact that I'm thinking about it probably means that it's a good time to swap Corsolas. I just really would prefer not to have one with recover, because that really bogged down the whole process of getting these little fellas to pop up. I need to ask, do you, as a general audience, consider fella a gender-neutral term? Because I do, but I kind of wonder if that was too big of an assumption. Maybe I'm delusional, but I thought I saw my DS flash red. Give me a minute. The charger's not too far away, and the more I think about it, the more there's not really any good reason for me not to have this plugged in while I'm playing. I guess part of the reason was I didn't think that the hunt would go this long. Because the other part is, like, it should be full battery, so I should at least have a couple hours. Poor thing is that it didn't flash red, though, so... maybe another time. You know, do you get berries from Pokepelago? It's been so long since I've actually played Sun and Moon that I don't remember these details fully. Because, like, I never reset my playthrough of Pokemon Sun, and I just could not get into Ultra Sun long enough to get to the end of it. Like, that's the thing, like, now that I've gotten a lot more into shiny hunting since playing Ultra Sun and Moon, but I'm not far enough in the game to actually do ultra wormholes. Otherwise, I do that a lot more, because that seems kind of fun to, like, be able to get a shiny just from playing a mini game. But in order for me to do that, I pretty much have to go through all of Ultra Sun and Moon. And I just can't. I've gone into it in other places, and I don't want to cause any drama tonight by going into it here. It's just, I'll just leave it at the fact that I'm one of those people who prefer Sun over Ultra Sun. You know, I mean, we gotta say a dramatic piece, so I might as well. Picking up Pokemon Sun, I got real attached to the story, especially the arc of Lily and the things she endured with her parents in order to actually be able to grow as a person. And that resonated with me a lot. Probably more than it should. So, even though there's a lot of long-winded parts, even though the pacing in the game could have been better, I still love the game. Lily and Nebby made me enjoy Pokemon Sun. I wasn't really even drawn to the whole wormhole shenanigans stuff. It wasn't that I liked them. It wasn't that I disliked them. I was kind of neutral to them. Like, they're cool, but I really enjoyed that character arc so much more. And I just felt, even though I couldn't get far enough into the game to actually play through it all the way, I have seen playthroughs of it, and they just do so much stuff. They changed Lucamine's character in ways that I feel really take away from Lily's growth, and they cut out the whole scene in Executor Isles, which I felt was a decent chunk of Lily's character arc. Not to mention, by trying to incorporate Necrozma into the game, I feel like they downplayed Nebby's character arc in the process, because like they basically turned Nebby into a damsel to be rescued by the player instead of a driving force that helps save the day. And here's the thing, like, I know the whole deal with Ultra Sun and Moon is they were made as games to... What even is this song? I do not remember this from the soundtrack in the slightest. This I do, though. I'm saying, like... Shoot, was I even updating the count at all during the whole story time? Let's throw 3 on there just to make me feel better. Maybe a 4th because I knocked it out. Just knocked one out. But yeah, the whole arc with Nebby, like, I get how someone could be like that more, because you actually got to go into ultra space and you actually got backstory of other worlds and dimensions. I see how that could appeal to someone. I just hate how it came at the cost of completely... I hate how it came at the cost of elements I liked about Nebby's character growth. And I think that's like the big thing in general, like, if the changes they made didn't cut into what I liked about the previous characters so much, the story wouldn't bother me as much. I don't even think that's really the huge reason that Ultra Sun and Moon were such a stain to me. That was caused by the marketing of the game. Because at the time, the last time we got anything kind of like a third version was Pokemon Black and White 2. And all the marketing for Ultra Sun and Moon were promoting the games as like the best of both worlds between the third generation we got from Gens 1 to 4 to and the sequel we got in Gen 5. A best of both worlds. It was technically the same story that we saw before, but in a different way. So it was in. This is why I didn't want to have a Corsola that was at the level 13 range. But yeah, they really hyped it up in a way that got me really excited for Ultra Sun and Moon. So when I actually played it, and it was more so a third version that was being sold twice as two separate versions, that probably rubbed me the wrong way more than any other element in Ultra Sun and Moon. You had to actually be there on social as the games were coming out to really get the whole thing. And I think just like the changes they made to Lucime were just the final straw. Cause like, it's fine. Like, if I remove emotional attachment and look at it more objectively, Ultra Sun and Moon aren't bad, they're fine. It's just that it just feels like they lost everything that I enjoyed about Sun and Moon with the changes they made for reasons they've already explained. Oh god, I feel like I'm already drawn out this topic way more than it needs to, and I'm coming off as a hater. What can we do to change the topic? How many of you are, while we're listening to Deltarune music, how deep are any of you in the rabbit hole? I say that like anyone's gonna respond, but you know, there's always the VOD. Yeah, 60 encounters and we're only at 19%. Jeez. Chaining Wishy-Washy really spoiled me. And even then it wasn't too bad, because like, with Wishy-Washy I was well into the hundreds. So it would make sense that the odds were as good as they were. I'll push my luck and try to go a little bit longer, try to get a Corsola that's a little bit higher. I'll be partially honest with y'all. I'm kind of looking for an excuse to stop. So, if I accidentally lose my Corsola chain, well, there's worse face that could happen, like being up to midnight on a work day. That would be much worse than losing my Corsola chain. Here we go, here's a cool one. And the more I learned about Attack of the Killer Queen, the more I love it. Like, when listening to it in-game, blind, I just found it to be a banger song. Then I started listening to the OST and saw that it's a collaboration between Toby Fox, Lena Raine, and Marcy Neighbors. I mean, I already love Celeste music, so a song that was a collaboration between Toby Fox and Lena Raine is essentially the best of both worlds. Now, I gotta look up what Marcy Neighbor does at some point, because I can't think of anything she does outside of this song. But I mean, if she's helping making bops like this, the stuff she's gotta do is gotta be great. I wonder if level 20 is high enough, if I waited long enough to find the best Corsola to counter with. I guess we'll find out. If it never does recover, then that means I did a good job actually picking out a good Corsola. As I'm coming up with random things to talk about for the VOD, if you're free, let me know. If you somehow happen to be a fan of me streaming but can just never catch a good time, let me know what times you usually watch streams anyways, because like, no promises, I typically stick to Saturday evenings when I'm feeling up to streaming because that tends to be the time frame that works best for me. But I am kind of experimenting to try to find other dates that I would be open for streaming, because there was at least a couple times the past month that I tried to stream on a Friday, but it just did not work out. So I am definitely down to trying a Friday stream if that means more people would be able to watch. Sunday is kind of a hard time for me too, though, because I work during the work week. You know, this hunt would be so bad if the Corsola would just call other Corsolas a little bit more frequently. Even other Marinis. I just had to open my mouth. You know, I'm actually kind of conflicted of if I would rather have... No! How did you outspeed me? You're level 22! No! No! Hold on, I gotta go back in the VOD and look. This is exactly what I was afraid would happen, but I don't see how it could. I was... Where is it? I know it's somewhere here, VOD. If it never does recover, then that means I did a good job actually picking out. But I am kind of experimenting to try to find other dates that I would be open for streaming, because there was at least a couple times the past month that I tried to stream on a Friday, but it just did not work out. So I am definitely down to trying a Friday stream if that means more people will be able to watch. Sunday is kind of a hard time for me too, though, because... God, it wasn't that far back. I work during the work. Come on. Let's zoom in. Here we go. How? Do you have like Sucker Punch or something? How did you attack first? I'm actually kind of conflicted of if I would rather have... Bite. No. How does... How did that even happen? How did Marini outspeed me when at level 50? At least it didn't happen on the shiny itself, but my speed's not that bad, is it? Where are my stats? Oh, up there in the corner. You're all seeing this, right? 112 speed. Marini's a slow Pokemon. There's no way a Marini that low in level has 112 speed, right? Well, at least I don't have to leave my DS open overnight. I feel kind of bad about that, though. How about I make myself feel a little bit better, and we do some chain fishing and just get another Love This to fill out the to phase into, or however the adjective actually is. Why is everything black? Okay. So this is gonna be a little awkward to do without hitting the capture device, but I feel confident that it can be done. Cool, I think I blacked out everything anyways. I just had the other 3DS out here, and I mean, I'm definitely ending at 10 o'clock at this point, so there's no point. But I don't want to give myself the illusion that I'm not ending everything off on a sour note. So let me reboot this stuff up. And just to see if I get it on 3. Let's see if I can get a chain going long enough to actually get this thing. I should probably pull up OBS so we can actually see if we got this going. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, the more I try to do other methods to find Corsola, the more I become convinced that this is the most efficient way I have access to get a shiny Corsola. Sure, I could probably chain fish in X and Y, but the last time I played X and Y, I restarted to try to give the game a second chance and see if I warm up to it anymore. And I don't think I've ever gotten past the second gym, so I feel like I have a long way to go just to get a fishing rod, let alone the super rod, which we have to double check, but I'm pretty sure is what we currently have access, what I would currently need in order to actually get to Corsola. And let me see how good of multitasking I am and change the game. At least over on Twitch. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more if I just streamed the Scarlet and Violet, I wouldn't have to worry about this. But I honestly was not expecting to have my chain break. I was expecting everything to be so underleveled that a Marini would never... I was so certain that a Marini would never actually be able to attack the Corsola. As afraid as I was, I tried to assure myself, no, you're like level 50, you're so much higher level than all these wild Pokemon. There's no way a Marini would ever actually outspeed you and knock out the Corsola you were trying to chain. Why would you ever assume that something terrible like that would happen? Don't mind me turning up the mic. I think actually being able to hear the audio cue for the fishing rod. Oh my god, just to rub insult to the wounds. Early encounter with a Corsola. I mean, never got a chance to share the most glorious part about all this. When I was freaking chaining the Corsolas earlier on, as I was trying to find the SOS signal from... As I was trying to find a Corsola in Pokemon Sun to chain, I decided to motivate myself to keep on doing it and avoid just going on wishy-washy the first second I saw it by also having my other 3DS running this game in the background and doing chain fishing. Just have a fun little social experiment of which game I would find a Corsola first. Almost immediately when I started fishing in this game, I found 3 Corsolas. Not blue, obviously. We wouldn't be having this stream if any of them were blue. But 3 Corsolas. Probably within the first 10 of the chain. Maybe even within the first 5 or 6. Because of course. Yeah, I mean... I hope I don't come off too salty. It's just so... There's just so much shenanigans that I've been having with shinies hunting as of late that it's kind of hard not to at least have a little bit of a snarky tone about it all. Laughing it off is the main way to actually get enjoyment out of it. But man, like even my Pokemon Go community day felt just a little bit cursed. Not too cursed, because I was able to get some good stuff, but oh man, did the game make me work for some of it in ways I would never possibly imagine. We're gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna just go back to chapter 1. Actually, I did rob you all a Big Shot. I just didn't feel like it was an appropriate time for Big Shot. But wouldn't be really fair to go back to chapter 1 right before we all got to listen to Big Shot. So, oh man. It's almost easier to just link you all to the huge Tumblr post I had about my community day adventure rather than read it out here. I'll do my best though. I just need to hydrate because I definitely... I need everything I can get to get this story out. I've already... Of course I screwed it up. I don't know. Am I just crazy? Or is there like 0 reaction time sometimes when you're fishing? Like, I feel like I pressed the button as soon as I heard the sound. And that was apparently too slow. Let me try to finish up this story, and we'll end off here, because if I'm, like, breaking chains that easily, I'm not getting a shiny tonight. It's just fact of life. Oh my god, this is just so brutal. So, it was Gumi Community Day yesterday. It was all set to go out and walk. So I drive out, have some lunch, run a little bit late because I was having lunch and didn't give myself enough time to eat it beforehand. Corsola, can you please stop appearing so early on in my fishing chains? You're just taunting me at this point. So yeah, I finished up lunch, and I was at least able to catch a couple Goomies in the process, shiny Goomies, so that was cool. Got to name one X lunch because it was during an Xbox presentation, and I guess the other was like just as I was finishing up. So I got to name 2 shiny Corsolas, or I mean, oh man, I wish they were shiny Corsolas. But I got to name 2 shiny Goomies after presentations that I was just vaguely listening to. And I got maybe half an hour of walking in before it started raining. Probably less, because despite the rain, I decided to say, screw it. I've been looking forward to this community too much, I'm not gonna let a little rain scare me off. Then, like, maybe an hour in, throughout the whole hour, once it started, the rain would just keep coming and going in a matter of minutes, so it's like, there's no way of protecting the sweater. But then, like, after an hour, the skies were like, screw you, why don't you get the hint like everyone else and go inside? So it started downpouring at least 5 times harder and would not let up. Completely flooded my phone to the point where I was freaking out about moisture in the UPS charger. So I was forced to recline to my car for an hour and do nothing in the car besides just sit in it, desperately trying to get my phone to dry up. Thankfully, the phone works just fine, and it's not the first time this sort of thing happens. It's just the only issue when this sort of thing happens is that I can't plug anything into the USB port, so I can't charge it, and I can't listen to it in the car because that requires plugging it in. So those two, that made the whole experience fun. And decided to wait around the car for like an hour, hour and a half to try to hope things clear up. And it gave me an opportunity to just like take the Goomies I got and clean out my storage and evolve the ones that I wanted to. So that was a bit of a mess itself, but I think I was too busy laughing at so much of it to actually be mad. Kind of like how I am with this Corsola. I think the most hilarious part is that all the rain that I had that day, it never rained once in Pokemon Go. Really? It's like you want me to stop streaming, game. But I am gonna finish this story. I won't complain about the rain though, because the game thought it was windy out that whole time frame, which means all my Goomies were weather boosted, which is fantastic. I was even able to find a Goomy that had a perfect appraisal. Again, maybe I should just link y'all to Tumblr posts where these files are a lot more organized, but screw it. This is what happens when you get me to try to tell a story while I'm multitasking with a game. Alright, we're about at the end, so I'm gonna hop back to chapter 1, just so we don't run out in the middle of it. Don't run out Delta Room music in the middle of it, I should say. Where are they at the story? Oh yeah, like, this isn't even the best part about all of this. Like, I'm happy I got the 100 Goomy and I got a decent one for PvP in case I ever actually use it. I barely touch Go Battle League, but I like collecting them anyways because it gives me something else to hunt for during community days. And you know, occasionally I'll touch it. There's video evidence on Twitch that I will occasionally touch Pokemon Go PvP. Granted, the times you see me stream it were probably the majority of times I've ever touched it in the past couple of years. But that's besides the point. Point being, I was overall happy with what I got, but I really wish I could have walked more, because that walking is my favorite part of Community Day. Like, the shinies are great and all, but I like how it rewards me for walking, and I get to have a nice walk in a park as I'm playing Pokemon Go. So, only being able to walk for like an hour of it, not even, that sucks. You know, it's like at the point it's like, I'll cut my losses and head. There's less than half an hour left. I might as well just head home and see what I get. See if I can get anything cool at home. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I did get something cool at home. Pulled into the freaking parking lot. Didn't even get out of the car yet. I checked the Goomies, and one of them was shiny. Not just that. It was 3-star. It was the only 3-star Goomy I got the whole time frame. And guess what? Still no rain in Pokemon Go. Wasn't even windy anymore. So, you know what I had to do just to ensure that I could evolve it with the Community Day move? Yeah. Before I could even get out of the car, I had to leave and go back to town just to find an incense, or I mean find a rainy lure, so I could evolve this Goomy at it. I mean, like, it's worth it as a freaking I think his exact IV spread was 15, 15, 13, so it was a really good Goomy. And at least I got it evolved. And if this was an edited video, this would be the point where I show off the Goomy. Unfortunately for me, that was the highlight, but that's not where the worlds end, because I was checking my storage, and I just so happened to find an even better Goomy for PvP. You know, the format that I would actually want the Community Day move for. It's like within the top 50 according to the appraisal that I use. I think it was like, if I had to pick a random number on my head, it was like 31 or 48. Not that it matters, because I could not evolve it. Because despite all the rain I've endured, it was not raining after Community Day when I realized that I had it. After I already drove out once to evolve the shiny Goomies. So I was definitely not evolving it again. So hopefully I don't sound too bitter about it, because there is some salt, especially with the part of how little I got to walk on Community Day. But it's also so funny that I can't stay mad at my luck over it all. Not to mention that I had similar ironic luck just the day before. Cause as I was walking Saturday, I actually found 2 more shinies. Maybe even full odds, at least for Pokemon Go standards. One of them I need to add something. I do have a Pokemon Go Plus Plus, but I never actually use it for catching Pokemon, because I always prefer to actually see the Pokemon that I'm catching. It's mostly just doubles as a way to get extra items from my bag if I'm running out. However, for this sleeping event that was going on recently in Pokemon Go, if you had the Pokemon Go Plus Plus synced up, you got a free timed research. and that time research require you to actually catch Pokemon with a Pokemon Go++. I think you know what I'm getting with this? I think I found the shiny Psyduck. Another one. On the ++. Which would be cool if it wasn't on the... if I actually got to experience catching it. And if it wasn't... like, I lost track of how many shiny Psyducks I've had. I think this is like my third one. I just know it's too many for a Pokemon that's never really been in a community day. But it gets better, worse, I don't know which. But I was walking around, and of course, like ever since the update, they add all these Kanto Pokemon that show up in biomes no matter what, whether you want to or not. Guess what happened when I went to catch a Drowsy just for the Stardust? It was shiny, and Drowsy, I love a lot of Pokemon. It's rare for me to have least favorites, but there are least favorites I have. Drowsy's one usually is by me. When I have a least favorite Pokemon, it's usually by means beyond the Pokemon design itself. Drowsy is one of those Pokemon. Sorry, I just had to make sure I didn't miss this one. It's more so Hypno and the creepy lore it has. I don't mean like creepy like, ooh, spooky ghosts. I mean creepy like, what is this doing in a child's game? I'm not gonna go into it, but that's the issue I have with Hypno. So of course, that's like, and I'll always have Salt over shiny Drowsy ever since I got one from Candela way back when. It's like I was hunting for literally any other shiny shadow besides the Drowsy, but of course that was the one I got the shiny of. And yeah, that same walk I got the Psyduck, I got the Drowsy, so it was like two shiny Pokemon that I actually didn't want, but it was pretty lucky to get them, so I can't complain about getting them either. It's such a mix of confliction and confusion, and I feel like that's been this whole weekend in a nutshell, at least when it comes to shiny luck. So it would be nice to just like get something completely on my own accord that I'd be happy and adore, but we've ran into so many normal Corsolas while fishing. There's no way we're gonna get a blue one this way. Like, the Sun and Moon SOS Chaining was my best chance to actually get a shiny Corsola. But I don't know, with that Marini, I just don't know what I can do, because if it happened once, it could happen again. So it's almost like unless I dedicate all the time on my treadmill to play X and Y just to get up to the point of getting the right fishing equipment and going to the areas where Corsola supposedly spawned. I don't even know. I didn't pay too close attention to numbers. I don't know if the odds of encountering a Corsola are any better in X and Y, than they are in this game. So I don't know if it would be even worth replaying all of X and Y just to get the fishing rods and be able to use chain fishing in that game. I'm just lost at what would be my best odds of getting Corsola, because at this point, I just want to break the curse. I just want to get the blue Corsola and move on with my life. Anyways, one more catch. I completely screwed up this chain several times, so we're not getting a shiny tonight. I'd rather just take the remaining time I have before I go to sleep to just settle in. Maybe find, like, do a little tiny bit of work with Dawn and Jin to give myself a little dopamine fix of productivity. I'm not gonna get that by just keeping on talking and explaining it though. So, thank you all for this surprise stream. No shiny. Hopefully it didn't come off too salty. Yeah, it's weird because I'm feeling okay, but I feel so much negative vibes coming out of me, and I don't feel terrible, so I don't know why. Hoping that I just get it all out of my system. At least now that I know of a place where Corsola's not a 1% chance, maybe it'd be worth chain fishing for on the treadmill. I get the feeling we're not gonna whatever happens is not gonna happen on stream, but I'll keep you updated on Blue Sky. If I used Twitter more, I would make posts there, but it's not worth it for me to be on Twitter/X unless I'm checking up on friends that aren't on other platforms or something like that. But I'll tell you what, as thanks for enduring this stream, and for celebration now, the fact that I recently had a short that blew up way more than it should. I mean, I guess that's the thing with today. The fact that out of all the shorts that could have blown up, I've done other shorts related to Pokemon. Shorts that are of better quality even. And it's like, of course the one that I hastily put, of one of my oldest shiny hunts in Scarlet and Violet, that I just plopped some text on because I had the capture on my Switch and might as well make a video on it. Just hastily slap text. Of course, that's the short that blew up and became my most popular short ever. Which, I mean, like it also had more likes than any other short that I uploaded, so something about it people liked. Who was it with you showing up at the beginning of my chains, Corsola? Did you do this intentionally to taunt me? But yeah, to celebrate that, I guess when I find the blue Corsola, whatever shape or form it may be, I will make a post of it on Twitter/X. You can hold me to it. I just have no idea which way I'm gonna find the Corsola at this point, because it feels like all of them have their own issues, making it really confusing for me of which way would be the most efficient to catch this silly little goober. Apparently it can show up in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. If I actually had those games, I would even boot those up to try to get it at this point. Originally, there was going to be some charm to actually get it in one of the older gens because I could get more ribbons on it. But I don't know, at this point, like, if I actually had the games, that might be the most efficient way to get it. But I don't think I think at this point I'm way too late to the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl party. And it'd be kind of ridiculous to buy a $60 game just to get one slightly different color Pokemon for. Surely there's another game that I already have that I can get it in. Man, this is why I didn't want to start another chain. You know, I had, closing the music, I had my chance. There's no shiny today. My voice is even getting a little scratchy. For real this time though, thank you all for tuning in. I don't know yet if I'm going to stream Saturday, especially with this random stream here. Who knows? But I will keep everyone posted on the socials and all that when I do. So, one more fish. If only because I know people just came in. For the people. Oh, why did I close the Deltarune soundtrack? I'll go one more chain. When this chain breaks, the stream ends. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's almost 10:30 anyway, so it's not like I really got any better thing to do with the rest of the day. What should we put up for music though? Because we've gone through... I've gone through the both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of the Deltarune soundtrack. I guess we might as well get the trilogy and get the Undertale OST in the mix. Sure. Let's go with that. A long time ago, there were two races, humans and monsters. Both races lived in peace until a war started. And one of the greatest king... Oh, shoot. This is what happens when I read a comment and not the actual script for the intro. Had you in the first half, though, didn't I? 1,000-Year Door. You know, I spent all this time talking about how I've not made as much progress as I thought I would with Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door. You know, if I was doing that, if I did a little less of this, like kept it to the treadmill, instead of like, I don't know, live streaming it, maybe I would have more time to play it. But I did play it quite a bit yesterday, so no complaints. I'm just paranoid over the internet spoiling things instead of taking things at my own pace. Yeah, man, I'm so conflicted about if I want to keep going or not, to be perfectly honest. Like, it's kind of sad, like, half an hour on the treadmill. I did not get it shiny the whole time I was chain fishing that. Granted, I was a little distracted, so maybe a few chains wouldn't have broke if I kept focus on just one game or the other. But I would have never actually discovered the fact that I could have been looking in a place where they appeared more often if I didn't force myself to chain fish at that one location long enough to go, what have I been doing wrong? Because, yeah, in the past, I would, like, fish, find wishy-washy several times, and go, like, screw it, if I can't find a Corsola, I'm gonna just SOS hunt a wishy-washy. Oh, I completely forgot, I should have pulled out the shiny wishy-washy from the box. Too bad we're not in that game anymore. I guess with Paper Mario, I've gotten up to Chapter 3. Man, I'm so close to finishing up Chapter 3, but it was getting late. I was right about to do the boss of the chapter, but it was getting late. I already was playing the game way longer than I was planning. I was like, screw it, I'll just save the boss for next play session. Yeah, I really wish I'd just break my chain now, so because that would make a perfect closer for the stream. Sorry if my vibes aren't as chill as they normally are. I think I've told enough stories that would explain why I'm just having this weird feeling about everything the past few days. And I think, like, once I go for the work week and things settle down, that looks like a break to me. And I think when things settle down, I'll have more of my usual feel back. Wow, I almost went to we basically have a normal length stream here. Anyways, and I told myself I'd stop at 10. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned for YouTube community posts, Discord, or some of the other socials I use to find out if I'll go live. Because if I do save them for Saturday evenings. But again, it's always based on what I feel, because there's other things that get priority at the moment. Until then though, take care. We caught up and everything.